first lecture, we have seen an overview of what is present in the chapter. This chapter contains your counting principle, your factorials, your permutations, which are of two types, linear and circular, and then the last two exercises are based on combinations. Your first exercise, counting principle, has two main important points: when to use addition and when to use multiplication. Addition is used whenever there is plus sign, or words such as or should be there, or words such as kiwa should be there, or words such as yafir should be there. So or condition should be there. And when we are going to use and symbol, whenever there is a must condition that this should be satisfied and this other condition should also be satisfied. So and word should be there to use multiplication, ani word should be there to use multiplication. If you are using Hindi, then or word should be there to use multiplication. After that, we have seen factorial. Factorial is reducing one term. So if I say 5 factorial would mean 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. If I say 3 factorial is 3 into 2 into 1. Note down some of the important factorials. 0 factorial is 1. 1 factorial is 1. 2 factorial is 2. 3 factorial is 6. 4 factorial is 24. 5 factorial is 120. 6 factorial is 720. 7 factorial is 5040. So you should at least know till 7 factorial. Okay. So let's start today. We'll continue a few of the questions from exercise 3.2. I hope that everyone has solved exercise 3.2 examples. Do let me know in the chat box which are the doubts you have. We'll solve them. And after solving a few more questions from exercise 3.2, we'll go forward and start with permutation exercise 3.3. Okay. Is my green screen visible to everyone? Let me know in the chat box if it's visible so that I can start. Okay, I have a doubt. It's 2 flags. Okay, so we'll solve the 2 flags doubt as well. No issues. First question. You have to find the value of n factorial upon r factorial into n minus r factorial. And this is given to you. N is given as 8 and r is given as 6. So pretty straightforward question. Just substitute the values and simplify. Therefore, instead of n, I'm going to write 8. Values given. Instead of r, I'll write 6. Therefore, into n minus r. So n minus r, that is 8 minus 6. 8 minus 6 is 2 factorial. Okay, so I'll reduce this further on. 8 factorial can be written as 8 into 7 into 6 factorial. I'll reduce till 6 factorial. The reason being, there is 6 factorial in my denominator so that I can cancel this. And what is 2 factorial? 2 factorial is 2 into 1, or I can write 2. 2 1s are 2 4s are 8. So that is equal to 7 into 4, 28. So pretty straightforward question. Let's see question number 2. In question number 2, you have to solve for n is equal to 15 and for r is equal to 10. So I'll give you some time after this question where I want you to solve for that. Let's see third question. You have to show that you have to show that n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial plus n factorial divided by r minus 1 factorial into n minus r plus 1 factorial. Value of this term is equal to n plus 1 factorial upon r factorial into n minus r plus 1 factorial. So you have to show that LHS is equal to RHS. Now you can either start with LHS and go to RHS, or you can start with RHS and come to LHS, or start with LHS, go to some intermediate step, then start with RHS and reach that same intermediate step. Okay, so we'll start with the left hand side. In my left hand side, I can see numerators having n factorials, denominators having r, other term is having r minus 1. So I'll reduce. So I can write this n factorial upon r factorial. Instead of writing r factorial, I can write r factorial as r into r minus 1 factorial. What is 10 factorial? 10 factorial is 10 into 9 factorial. So we can go on reducing. So r factorial will be r into r minus 1 factorial. Which one is bigger in these two terms? N minus r and n minus r plus 1. So n minus r plus 1 is bigger. So I'll keep n minus r factorial as it is. Plus n factorial will keep as it is, divided by r minus 1 factorial into n minus r plus 1. Okay, reduce this. If I subtract 1 from this term, n minus r plus 1, what would be next term? N minus r plus 1 minus 1. So that is just n minus r. So I've reduced 1 and I'll reduce to n minus r factorial only because I have n minus r over here. Therefore, is there anything common between these two? Yes. N factorial is common. Also r minus 1 factorial is common. So I'll take that to common. Also n minus r factorial is also common. So I'll take that also common. So what is left over here? 1 by r plus 1 upon, over here I'll have n minus r plus 1. Therefore, next n factorial upon denominator term would be as it is, which is r minus 1 factorial, n minus r factorial. Take LCM over here. Taking LCM, I'm going to get r into n minus r plus 1. Cross multiply, so n minus r plus 1 minus r. R will get cancelled out. I'll have n plus 1 over here. That is equal to n factorial multiplied with n plus 1 term. So that is nothing but n plus 1 factorial. Similarly, r multiplied with r minus 1 factorial. So r into r minus 1 factorial is going to be r factorial. Similarly, n minus r plus 1 into n minus r factorial is nothing but n minus r plus 1 factorial, which is what I can say, which is my right hand side. LH is equal to RHS, hence proved. Okay, so go through the questions 1 and 3 and solve this question. You have 2 minutes for this and you can ask your doubts. I'll explain the doubts in the meanwhile as well. Okay, so I'll go through chats. When 2 flags make 1 signal, then how many signals can we make? So Prashant, I had explained this question. If 2 flags make 1 signal, instead of taking flags of 4 different flags, I had taken 4 different colors, if you remember. And I had said that 4 different colors, if they are placed up and down, then they'll make 1 flag. So it is similar kind of questions. Instead of 4 different colors, you have 4 different flags. And you are going to need 2 flags to make 1 signal. So answer is first be filled in 4 ways and second place can be filled in 3 ways because only 1 flag is already utilized. So 4 into 3, 12. So Prashant, your answer is 12. Others have to copy and solve this. Copy first and third question and solve the second question. Okay. Priyan Vada Divar. So if this is your first lecture, we are studying permutations and combinations. The previous 2 lectures you'll get in your app. We have also started a YouTube channel named Ganimi. You can go to YouTube channel and you can get the previous 2 lectures. Prashant is saying 28, perfect, correct. Exercise 3.2, question number 9 and further. Okay, we'll solve. Atharu will solve few more questions from exercise 3.2. Okay. So Prashant, to represent flags, you just have to write first place of the flag can be filled in 4 different ways. Second place can be filled in 3 different ways. So total number of ways or total number of signals that you can get is 12. Okay. Is anyone having any doubts in these 3 questions? Everyone has solved question number 2 fast. So we'll move on to next question. Next question is simplify. This is also from exercise 3.2. And you have to simplify 2n plus 2 factorial divided by 2n factorial. So simplify in this case means just to remove this factorial sign. Okay, so first check who is bigger one. 2n plus 2 is big or 2n is big? 2n plus 2 is big. If 2n plus 2 is big, go on reducing 2n plus 2. Go on reducing means go on subtracting 1. So 2n plus 2, if I subtract 1, I'll get 2n plus 1. If I subtract 1 more, I'll get 2n. This is factorial. And this is also factorial over 2n factorial. Why have I reduced till 2n factorial only? So that this and this will get cancelled out. So my final answer is just multiply these 2 brackets. In your textbook, the final answer is given as 2n plus 1 into 2n plus 2. So even if you stop over here, this is your correct answer. Or the question says simplify. So we can simplify one more step easily, which is bracket multiplication. So bracket multiplication would give me 4n square plus 2n plus 4n, that is 6n plus 2. We'll see next question. N plus 3 factorial divided by n square minus 4 into n plus 1 factorial. So which one is big, n plus 3 or n plus 1? N plus 3 is big, so we'll reduce n plus 3. So n plus 3 factorial can be written as n plus 3, then minus 1. So n plus 3 minus 1 is n plus 2, then again minus 1 from that. N plus 2 minus 1 means n plus 1. So keep on reducing by 1. What is factorial? Factorial is 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 into 6. We keep on reducing by 1. So n plus 3 factorial will be n plus 3, n plus 2, n plus 1, then n minus 1. Similarly, it will go on continue. But we have to stop at n plus 1 factorial because I have n plus 1 factorial in my denominator term and I can cancel them out easily. N square minus 4, a square minus b square format. A square minus b square is a plus b, a minus b. So this can be written as n minus 2 into n plus 2. N plus 2 also cancels out. So my final answer is n plus 3 upon n minus 2. So copy down these 2 questions. If you have any doubts, you can ask. I'll write one more question till the time you copy these 2. If you have finished copying these 2 questions, you can solve the third one. Is anyone having any doubts in these two questions? Type in yes if you have understood, type in no if you have any difficulty in understanding anything. So can I get some yes if you have understood? Okay, yes from Veer, Prashant, others passed. Shweta is saying yes, Aditya is saying got it, thumbs up, perfect. Okay, Om is saying yes. So I'll give you 30 seconds more to solve this question. Try this question. Kushi is saying yes. Okay, good. I'm trusting you guys that you'll be able to solve this question fast. You have 30 seconds for this. Time's running up. Pretty simple question, just simplify. Meanwhile, any doubts, ask me in the chat box. I'll answer them. Perfect, Avian, Ish, Kushi, Om. How many of you won't be able to solve this question? You can type in, so I can solve. N is equal to, okay, you're coming up with answers as well. 8. No, it is not the answer. 7 is saying by Kashish. Perfect, 7 is the answer. Others? But check where you have made some silly mistake. Last 15 seconds, fast, fast, fast. Okay, Parth, you got the answer right. Perfect. Got it. Okay. I'll solve. The time's up. So this is n factorial upon 3 factorial and n minus 3 factorial. This whole term is again divided by n factorial upon 5 factorial into n minus 5 factorial, which is equal to how much? 5 by 3. I can cancel these n factorial terms, take this term to numerator. We have seen laws of indices. The term which is present in denominator's denominator can be written into numerator. Therefore, this will be 5 factorial into n minus 5 factorial upon 3 factorial into n minus 3 factorial, which is equal to how much? 5:3. Therefore, we'll continue with therefore 5 factorial and 3 factorial. Which one is bigger? 5 factorial is bigger. I'll reduce 5 factorial. 5 factorial can be written as 5 into 4 into 3 factorial. N minus 5 and n minus 3. Which one is bigger? N minus 3 is bigger. Therefore, I'll keep n minus 5 factorial as it is. N minus 5 factorial as it is. Divided by 3 factorial into n minus 3. I'll subtract 1. I'll get n minus 4. I'll subtract 1 more. I'll get n minus 5. I'll reduce to n minus 5, so this cancels out. So this also cancel out over here. This is given as 5:3. 5 is cancelling on both sides. Therefore, I can say n minus 3 into n minus 4 is equal to 4 into 3. So compare these two. Therefore, I can say n minus 3 is equal to 4, which means n is equal to 7. Okay, so copy this down. You have 10 seconds for this. And then we'll move to next question. We'll see a few questions from exercise 3.3 permutations. Okay. So exercise 3.3 is based on your permutations. Permutations is arrangement. And what is the example that we have seen for permutations? We have seen example of bomb. That there is a 3-digit code that should be entered. The 3-digit code is 3, 2, and 1. Now our hero goes and he enters some other numbers. Suppose he enters 1, 2, and 3. Now, even though the digits are same, is it going to work? No. The bomb is going to explode. Reason being, it is not entered in the same order. So permutation is related to order, which means arrangement is important. So permutation means arrangement where order is important. Let us say that there are 5 people who have participated in a race. And out of those 5 people, I want to fill up first 3 places. So in how many ways can the 3 places be filled? So there are 5 people and there are 3 places. So first place can be filled in how many ways? 5 different ways because there are 5 people. Second place can be filled in 4 different ways because obviously one person came first. So 4 options are left. So any out of those 4 can come second. And then third place can be filled in 3 different ways. So total number of ways according to counting principle we have seen, that is equal to 5 4 20 into 3, 60. You can also solve this by using permutation formula. So what does permutation formula say? That if there are 5 people and if there are 3 places to be filled, I can use my permutation formula, and my permutation formula is this. I have 5 people, so I'll write 5 factorial divided by, I have 3 places, so from 5 I will subtract 3 and then factorial, which means formula for permutation is if I am having n number of places out of which I have to fill r number of places, then permutation formula or NPR representation is equal to number of places, that is n factorial divided by, so n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. So NPR can be written in this way, NPR can also be written in this way, or NPR can also be written like this. So these are different notations of writing NPR. Okay, so let's find value of this term. There were 5 runners who were running and there are 3 places to be filled. According to NPR, I said that we can also use this formula. Let's check what is the answer of this formula. 5 factorial upon 5 minus 3 factorial. So 5 factorial is 120. 5 minus 3 factorial is 2 factorial. 2 factorial is 2. So 2 ones are 60s are. So we are going to get the same correct answer, even if we go by counting principle or if we are using a permutation formula. Okay, let's get familiar with this formula first before we start with our word problems. NP6 is to NPR or NP3. This ratio is given as 120 is to 1. My question is find the value of n. Okay, so NP6. So that is equal to n factorial upon n minus 6 factorial divided by NP3. So that is n factorial divided by n minus 3 factorial, which is equal to how much? 120 is to 1. Anything is cancelling out. This and this cancels out. This is what? Division. So numerator denominator cancels out. Therefore, I can say n minus 3 factorial divided by n minus 6 factorial is equal to 120 upon 1. How did n minus 3 factorial come into numerator? By using laws of indices. It is present in denominator's denominator. So term which is present in denominator's denominator can be written in numerator. If you are having any doubts with laws of indices, fractions, LCMs, taking basic or solving quadratic equations, multiplying with negative signs throughout, or shifting terms on other sides. So you can let me know in the chat box. We can arrange a separate lecture for that, where all your basics of 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th can be covered. But right now I'm going to assume that you know laws of indices. So n minus 3 factorial and n minus 6 factorial, which one is big? N minus 3 is bigger one, therefore I'll reduce n minus 3. So I'll have n minus 3, n minus 4, n minus 5, and then n minus 6. I'll reduce till n minus 6 factorial because I have n minus 6 in my denominator, and this is given as how much? 120:1. Now multiplication of 3 terms, 1, 2, and 3 is equal to 120. So which should be those 3 terms? 120 can be written as what? 3, 4, 5 is 60. 4, 5, 6. Okay. So 120 can be written as 6 into 5 into 4. 6 5s are 30 into 4, 120. Therefore, I'll write n minus 3, n minus 4, n minus 5 is equal to 120. 120 means 6 into 5 into 4. So n minus 3 is equal to 6, n minus 4 is equal to 5, n minus 5 is equal to 4. Multiplication of 3 consecutive terms is equal to multiplication of 3 consecutive terms. So big term should be equal, small term should be equal, and middle term should be equal. Therefore, I can say n minus 3 is equal to 6, which means n is equal to 9. Okay, so copy this down. You have 30 seconds, and let me know if you have doubts any in the chat box. So Prashant has said the answer is 9. Perfect. And 60. Okay, good. Perfect. You have 10 seconds to solve this fast. Type in your doubts in the chat box so that I can solve them. You have 30 seconds to copy this down, after which we'll move to next question. Okay, so time's up. Next question. M plus n P2 is given as 56 and m minus n P2 is given as 12. You have to find values of m and n in this case. M plus n P2 is given is 56 and minus n P2 is given as 12. Okay, so let's start with first term which is given to us, m plus 1 P2. So this is given m plus n permutation 2 is 56. Therefore, what is our formula of NPR? NPR formula is n factorial upon n minus r factorial. So instead of n over here, I have m plus n. So my formula would be m plus n factorial. So if n is present over here, we have n factorial. In this case, we have m plus n present. So my formula would be m plus n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. So in this case, it is m plus n. So this is going to be m plus n minus of 2 factorial, which is equal to how much? 56. Which one is big? M plus 1 and m plus n minus 2. M plus 1 is big. M plus n is big. So I'll reduce that. So this will be m plus n. Then I'll have m plus n minus 1. Subtract 1. And keep on subtracting till you have the smaller term. This term is present in denominator. So I will reduce till m plus n minus of 2. So that it gets cancelled from numerator and denominator. Now multiplication of 2 consecutive terms is present over here, and I have 56. So I'll write 56 as a multiplication of 2 consecutive terms as 8 into 6. So bigger number should be equal. Therefore, I can say that m plus n is equal to 8. Let that be equation number 1. Let's solve the second term. M minus n P2 is given as 12. Therefore, again use formula of NPR. What is formula for NPR? N factorial upon n minus r factorial. So that is going to be m minus n factorial upon m minus n minus 2 factorial, which is equal to how much? 12. Which one is big? M minus n is or m minus n minus 2? M minus n is bigger one. Therefore, I'll reduce that. M minus n. How to reduce? Keep on subtracting 1. So next term would be m minus n minus 1. Then next term would be m minus n minus 2. Next term would be m minus n minus 3. But we don't need to go to 3 because we are having same term in numerator denominator, which will cancel out. And this is given as how much? 12. Now again, multiplication of two terms is equal to 12. So I'll write 12 as multiplication of two terms. What can I write 12 as? I can write 12 as 4 into 3. Then compare bigger term. M minus n is equal to 4 and this term is equal to 3. Therefore, m minus n is equal to 4. Let that be equation number 2. Solving equation 1 and 2 simultaneously. So solving, I'm going to get answer as m plus n minus 1 will get cancelled out. 2m is equal to 8 plus 4 is 12. So m is equal to 6. And once I get m is equal to 6, substitute that in equation number 1. So 6 plus n is equal to 8. Therefore, n should be equal to 2. So again, I have not explained the solving. I'm assuming that you can do the solving basic part easily. Copy this down. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay. Parth, you're saying there is a doubt in exercise 3.26 question. I don't have the textbook with me currently. So if you can type in the doubt, I can solve or we can solve in next lecture. Copy this down. If you have any doubts in any step in this particular question, you can ask. Again, you have 30 seconds for copying this. Okay. So we'll stop over here. Tomorrow we'll continue with exercise 3.3. Your homework is to solve exercise 3.2. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Those students who are joining new, we have started with a YouTube channel as well. So this is the YouTube channel, Ganimi, the e-learning app. You can search for Ganimi. It will have the daily lectures which are being presented to you will be uploaded. So currently, your permutation combination, you have 2 lectures and today's lecture will be uploaded soon. Also, there are other lectures of vectors and units dimensions. Some of the lectures are for JE, some of the lectures are physics. So all the lectures of your physics, chemistry, maths, biology will be uploaded over here as well. The lectures will also be uploaded in your app so that you can share if you want, or you can just inform your friends about the Ganimi